no more is I had addiction. But if I didn't, I'm gonna tell you right now, you better put your money on the young, not I wouldn't say young, but the Giant Slayer. Put your money on the Giant Slayer, man. Under 12, he's gonna get it done. You feel me? And I'm gonna
Al,
celebrate.
Al in the
I said,
Bay.
get.
Let me cut you short. I got Shawn Porter just joined us. As I said, we will be having this interview. But there goes your 10-second clapper anyway. But I'll give you a few seconds when we're done with the interview. Coach Shawn Porter, how are you,
Feel
man?
like it's your time.
What's happening, sir? How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm actually very, very happy that you're in this new position. I know you do the commentating and things of that nature, but I always feel like, fighters make great trainers or could make great trainers. And speaking to certain boxing minds, you know, uh, it always gives me that impression. I had the same impression with Paulie Malignaggi. I feel like he would be a great trainer one day as well. I got to see some of the footage with Shawn Zittel and yourself while you were, being the head trainer for Marquis Taylor and his fight that just passed on Red Owl. And it just put a smile on my face, man, because I actually trained with your dad. He was preparing me for a fight, so I got a few good weeks in with him and learned some of his regimen. And I seen you doing one thing he had me doing, where he took me to the Mayweather gym, bro. Had me sprint the parking lot and then run away from him, run back to him, and do pad work while either walking forward or backward. Then he'll say, run again, and I'll have to run down there and run. And I'm like, oh, snap, look at Shawn doing the same thing. So it was just, I actually wanted to text your dad, like, hey, did you see your son? You know what I mean? Because it's like you're doing what you learned from him, and it obviously worked for you, and you want to pass it down. And I just thought it was a beautiful moment, man. But I hate to be long-winded, but yeah, what made you make this transition? And good morning, Marquis. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing pretty good.
So yeah,
Yeah,
Shawn, if
bro,
you
that's
want to just jump
crazy.
in and tell us what made you make this transition.
Sure, yeah. For me, it was I was never really looking to train anybody, but I did start training at a sports academy out here in Las Vegas recently, and as recent as this Super Bowl weekend was the first weekend that I did anything at the sports academy. So, I tell people all the time, I have a spirit to help. That's the first step of being, I believe, a coach, because a coach is just nothing but help. I also have a spirit to teach. Again, the second step to being a good coach is being able to teach. So these are definitely passions of mine, but I never really had a plan of attack in terms of when I was going to coach, who I was going to coach, and things of that nature. But when Marcus gave me a call and he explained a little bit to me about what had been going on in his camp, not being able to fight, things of that nature, and feeling like he needed me, for the sake of words, to kind of take him to the next level. He and I were kind of drawn together from me seeing him on TV, and then our next opportunity or actually our first opportunity to be around one another was at your event. So once we had met each other at your event, it kind of was just the same thing I tell everybody. Let me know if you need anything. I select my number, and eventually he called me with like pretty much the one of the biggest calls I've received in boxing, which was to coach him. So here we are.
And Marquise, obviously, I know you've told this story before because, I came back and told my audience that I had no clue, that was your first time meeting Shawn was at the TBV Appreciation Night. But what was it about Shawn that you said, I think you can be a trainer, let alone train me?
Mm, I was talking it over with Nick, my cut man, and we was just like comparing styles and everything, and we was just picking like, bro, whose style, like do you have? Like, we just picking. He was like, man, you know what? Sean Porter. And like when he said it, like I instantly thought about how he said, if I ever needed him, to call him. But it was just a sign to me that he said that because I feel like me and Sean Porter are similar. We like to close the gap real quick, especially when someone pulls out. We got that in common. We both dogs. And so I was like, you know what? Sean gonna be able to teach me something. He gonna be able, to just make my game that much better. So I came up with that.
Now, I love what I'm seeing because you seem truly committed. You've come out to Las Vegas, you relocated, you already had the fight, and you're still in Las Vegas, which is showing commitment as well. Um, so was that your idea to remain in Vegas throughout camp and even after camp? And Shawn, depending on his answer, was that something that you required? Because I know your dad used to brag about keeping you within 10 to 15 pounds of fight weight year round. And I don't know, is that just something that you're trying to pass down and make sure he's always ready? And that's why or I don't know, answer. Both of you.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Well, I kind of already stayed 10 pounds within my weight by myself. Something that I've been doing for quite a while. Um, yeah, I stay in shape. I came down here in shape. It was ultimately Sean's idea to spend the whole camp down here in Vegas. It was my first time doing camp anywhere else other than Houston. Um, yep.
Now,
My first
champ,
time
I ain't gonna
down
let I ain't gonna let you get that off because I seen the video. I had no clue I was gonna interview y'all. You was tired. Training out here either is different because of the altitude or that Sean Porter, Kenny Porter tutelage. Them exercises, I seen you exhausted on that floor. And like I said, I trained with Ken. I know how tough it can be, them exercises. Did you see a difference not only in the working out in Las Vegas and training with Shawn, but in your performance because of the high altitude?
Definitely. I think I was in some great shape. I think I was in some great shape. Just to training with Sean, doing the things that his dad made him do. It ain't easy. So yeah, I think my conditioning was really
I
good.
I can tell you this, man. Marcus has a phenomenal baseline. And the reason why I use the terminology and the word base or phenomenal is because he truly is committed to this thing in ways that most fighters aren't. Respect to most fighters in this game. I'm not gonna say any names, and even respect to myself. And I'll even use myself as an example. I have my dad, and my dad is very boisterous about this. My dad pushed me in every way to do everything that needed to be done. As a young professional athlete, the only thing I knew was fight night. I just want to get to fight night, and I just want to perform. That I don't. I need the crowd. Okay. I need the noise. I need somebody to perform in front of. I didn't like training. I didn't like nutrition and dieting and things of that nature because for me that stuff didn't mean as much to me as fight night did. My dad understood if you don't do this, fight night ain't gonna go the way we need it to go. So my dad was always steadily connecting those dots. For me, with Marcus, a big reason why I decided to work with Marcus is because I could see his commitment. He's contacted me, and we initially, the first time we did a workout together was August of this year. Okay, so you're talking about us training one time in August, us training one time in September, one time in October, and we didn't start training consistently until November. So what you see on fight night is Marcus's baseline. He stays training. He stays on his nutrition. Stays around 10 pounds above his weight class at all times. So for me, with fight night, this fight specifically, it wasn't let me bring a new Marcus Taylor to the ring. It wasn't let me add this to him and let him so everybody can see Shawn Porter has his print on Marcus. It was just let me make sure he's fit enough for this fight. Let me make sure he's focused enough for this fight, fighting at home. And let's just make sure we get through this one. Moving forward, he will be coming back and forth more from Vegas. That's not a requirement of mine because of who he is. Most fighters, yeah, if I was training anybody else, it would be a requirement for me to have you as close to me or as close to camp as possible so that I can see everything that's going on at all times because I know what it's like to be a young professional athlete. Young, you want to do other things, you want to slide around, so on and so forth. Marcus really ain't about that life. And, he made this first go around very, very easy for both of us. And I'm looking forward to definitely putting some prints on him moving forward. But for this right here, man, he has a phenomenal baseline, and it all shows up on fight night.
Now, Shawn, you said when, and I'm paraphrasing, but you did use the word that he needed you to get to the next level. Does that mean you're taking a managerial role, an advisory role, and we can see him, more with the PBC? Because he did have that great win with Yoelvis Gomez, and they didn't give him a return.
Yeah, no. I say this to Marcus all the time. I work for you. So I know what it's like to be on a team and have to fit into any role at any point in time. We got a lot of recovery done through the course of this first camp, and it was something that he hasn't done in the past. So I took a role of the what would you call it? Like I didn't do the therapy on him myself, but the mentality of a physical therapist would be okay. The end of the week we need a massage. The end of the week we need to get in the ice tub. That's the identity of what the physical therapist would do to support Marcus. We don't have that right now, so I have to stand in that gap and support him as the physical therapist. Observe his body. This is what you need done, and we go and get that done. So I work for Marcus. I'm prepared to fit into any role he needs me to fit into. I went to the WBC convention to petition for him to be ranked much higher than he has been ranked. Was 25. They said they're going to move him to 19 after this fight. They will look again and more than likely move him again into the top 15 after this fight that we just had. I hope that comes too, but he's never had representation to go to these sanctioning bodies to petition for him to move up in rankings and things of that nature. He's a great fighter. His performances speak for themselves, especially against the opposition. But that's not always enough, and so I felt that a necessity to go to the convention. He went to the WBA convention with his manager Bobby. What's this? Is Bobby What's Bobby Harris?
Person.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he went to the WBA sanction, and they petitioned again for him to be ranked higher with the WBA. So collectively, I think we're all moving, and this is another thing that I like about Marcus. He already had a team, and what I really love about his team. Number one, they all love him. Number two, they all care about him, and it seems like we're all on one accord. We understand that we work for Marcus.
Marcus, man, do you feel like this was that missing piece to get you to the next level, the way that Shawn puts it? And what sort of timeline in your mind did you think linking with Shawn and a world title? Like, man, I feel like if I get with Shawn 18 months from now, I could be a champ. Did that even cross your
And we
mind?
always say next year. So I'm gonna keep saying next year.
Okay, okay. And
Yeah,
did you
no,
feel?
we plan on moving him into a very good position in boxing in this coming year.
And did you feel like that was good? That was the missing piece for you, Marcus?
Yep.
Now, Shawn,
Absolutely.
I gotta ask, Shawn. I feel like 19. That's 6 slots. But weren't you named WBC ambassador in 2019?
I don't know. I've never really, I think the
I
WBC has
feel like
always
I was
wanted
there.
to.
I feel like I was there,
Yeah,
and you had a whole speech about always wanting to be a WBC. No, actually, I think that was before you ever won the belt. And then after you won the
yeah.
belt, they made you an ambassador. I don't know, man.
I,
Non,
I
what
don't
is
know,
that?
man.
Six
Now you
slots?
causing issues
Yeah,
now
yeah.
because
No,
now you're talking
I want
about
more respect for Shawn Porter.
this is a conflict of interest now. Listen, he was 25. I went and I petitioned for him to be ranked in the top 10.
Okay.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to really throw it all in their face, and I can go get the notes. But nobody has been in the ring with more undefeated fighters than Marcus Taylor. I'm sorry. No, no. Let me do this correctly. And the respect to anybody else, but no winner has been in the ring with more undefeated fighters than Marcus Taylor. He is not a fighter who's been in the ring with undefeated fighters and has an upside down record. Okay, so let's make sure that everybody understands. You go look across the landscape of boxing, especially in the top 10, and you look and see how many guys, the champions, look and see how many of the champions have been in the ring with undefeated fighters. Marcus has been in the ring with six undefeated fighters and has beat five of them. So that's a major deal. When you have a career with less than 20 fights, and almost half of those fighters have been undefeated. That's a big deal. So he's made a way for himself, and I've just come to.
All right. So Marcus, I got a few questions here from the people before we let you guys go, and I might have some also for you, Shawn, from the people. But we'll get to Marcus first. And first one comes from Toledo. Treese in Ohio. He says, what names at 160 do you want to fight, considering most of the big names are at 154? And what is the hardest thing to cut from your diet while trying to make weight?
That's a good question. The name I want next is Austin Ammo Williams. Possibility. Was I heard?
Yes, you said
Yeah.
Austin Ammo Williams.
Yeah, I want him next. And the biggest thing I gotta give up is chips. It's like my favorite snack.
What kind of chips?
And all type of chips. Hot Cheetos, Doritos, Cool Ranch, spicy nacho, cheddar ruffles, queso ruffles.
That's
Hey,
funny.
listen, I want to add to that quick. Ammo Williams is 17-1 right now, right? So when we got together, I said, listen, we got to handle this fight right here. But after this fight, we can really start talking about the future. But what do you want? Like, I want to get you what you want. Tell me what you want. And he's like, this is for before Ammo fought Shiraz. And he's like, I think Ammo out there for me. I think, he got a name. I think he fighting on Matchroom. He on the zone all the time. I think that fight really makes a lot of sense. And I was like, he's a Houston guy, and at that point in time he was undefeated. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm the O snatcher. I'm only going after undefeated fighters.
Shawn, let me
This
let
is
me
before.
interrupt. I apologize.
Yeah.
Do you guys happen to be in the same room?
No, we're not.
Oh, I don't know. The audience is saying they're
The-
experiencing an echo when you guys speak. I don't hear anything. To me, it's crystal clear. But I do see that when, I can see my level. So I do see when one of y'all speak, both audios are coming through. That's why I thought maybe you were in the same room. All right, we'll blur with it anyway. We only got a few more questions to go, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just letting everybody know. When it comes to Ammo Williams, it's the fact that they both got this Houston block, and Marcus thing is, especially anybody from my city that's doing something big, I got to take them out. Listen, when Ammo lost to Shiraz, Marcus was like, we might as well go after Shiraz because now he the one with the O. Ammo don't got the O no more. And I was like, listen, Ammo don't got the O, but it's still, you saying anybody from your city, you gotta beat anybody from your city. On top of the fact that he is a matchroom guy that's got a significant following, the zone, the list goes on. And so I said, all right, if Ammo is what you want, Ammo is what we get. So then Ammo went and lost to Shiraz, kind of took a little steam off of it. Shiraz is getting in the ring with Adames, and so it's like, all right, well, if he getting in the ring with Adames, we're not gonna get Adames no time soon, and we definitely not getting Shiraz no time soon. So Ammo's next up at rank 7 right now with the WBC, and I think he might be 6 with the WBA, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's actually a great fight. We like Hamza Shiraz around here, and he's actually going to be fighting Carlos Adames. So, Marquise, what do you think happens in that fight, and are you going to shift if Adames beats Shiraz?
No, I ain't gonna shift. I got Shiraz because I feel like I don't know. I think he was offered the Janabek fight. He turned that down. He got dropped out of the WBO rankings because of that, and he picked Carlos Adames. So I think I think he sees something. So I'm gonna go with Shiraz for that fight.
He is
But I need
nice
them
and
both.
he's nice and long, man. He uses that reach advantage to his advantage and
Mm-hmm.
his height. He doesn't give it up like a Paul Williams used to do. But let me get back to these
Mm-hmm.
questions. Um, we got some on our YouTube as well. Let me see if there's one for you, Shawn. Give me one sec. Sorry, guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It's going to help with the visibility. So for Shawn, you got one here from Matt who says, Matt from Dallas, thank you, Shawn, for expressing your talent into coaching. And I believe you're going to make a great team. Blessings. So no question, just showing you some support. And we'll get to the next one here. From Treese in Toledo, Ohio. He says, Midwest Mafia's newest coach. What are some good fights that can build your fighter, and what does my fighter, Jared Anderson, need to do to get back in the mix?
Oh man. Listen, man. I usually don't expose much of my personal life, much of what goes on, and things of that nature. But I think this might be public. I don't know for sure. Some of it might be public. I don't know. I've said some things about Jared in the past that apparently he didn't really appreciate. He didn't agree with, and I became an enemy of Jared Anderson. Jared fought out in Cali, his last fight, and I tried to approach him, and he like, man, I don't f with you. And I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, let's talk about this. What's going on? Prior to that, I'm not on my social media, so I didn't even know what was going on. I'm saying all that to say this: when the gentleman asked me what does Jared Anderson need to do to get back to where he was, first and foremost, I want to make it known that I'm a very very big fan of Jared Anderson. Anything that I've said in the past about Jared Anderson, whether I was I was what's the word I want to use? Assessing him, I'll just use the word assess. Whether I was assessing him and I said something that he didn't like, he didn't agree with, whatever the case may be, I think I use a lens that is very fair. I use a lens that I know what I'm looking at, and I've only tried to expose him in a light that would make everything that he's doing make sense. I think that he could and should still be the first heavyweight world champion from America since Deontay Wilder. He took a big hit in his last fight uh, with oh man, I can't think of this guy's Michael
Bacoli.
Bacoli. Yes, with Michael Bacoli, took a big hit right there. Um, I'm not looking to build Marcus. Has built himself. I think when you build a fighter, it's about getting that fighter mentally and physically in a place to be able to perform at an elite level. The building process for most fighters, what most people don't talk about, the building process for a young fighter is because that fighter is still maturing and that fighter is still growing and developing. So you actually have to develop the fighter in the human. The human is growing and the fighter in the human needs to grow as well. Marcus is already mature. Marcus has already fought at an elite level. Marcus has already done everything that needs to be done to build himself. What I'm trying to do at this point is make sure that I sharpen him enough that way, when he does get in the ring with a Shiraz and a Adamas ammo, he is equipped and has enough in his bag that, the course of 12 rounds or less, he's ready to do any and everything it takes to win the fight. He's already there mentally. He's already there physically. We just have to kind of sharpen everything up. Going back to Anderson, I think the same thing for him. You just gotta have to rebuild him. Understand that he's still a young professional athlete. He still has some maturing to do, and along with the maturing outside of the ring, you got to mature him inside of the ring. I really don't know the next fight for him. I hate to see him take a step back and fight anyone lesser than the opposition he's been in the ring with, but it definitely can't be someone the caliber of Michael Piccoli. I think Michael Piccoli is one in his own. What I mean by that is, for the man to be as big as he is, as strong as he is, and again as mature as he is, that was just a tall feat for a younger Anderson. But I think maybe in another year he could take on a Michael Piccoli and conquer him.
All right, all right. So I'm physically muting myself so that it doesn't echo. So I got some questions for you, Marcus. And first one, right, let me make sure I'm on the right post. Nope, wrong one. First one is coming from Malcolm in New York City. Says, looking good with Shawn Porter. Kind of double question. With the new team combo going, what's something vital you learned from Shawn, and what's something Shawn learned from you as his first time coaching?
Something vital I learned from Sean this camp was to not overwork myself. And one thing I think Coach learned vital about me is that you gotta watch me. Because I might still work real harder when I'm supposed to. He was just, teaching me more about recovery, things like that. So more structure in the camp. Said we only had like 4.5 weeks, so we had limited time. So he just gave me a lot of structure. His camp taught me patience.
Now, your dad has always been there. I remember going to see you in Houston, and I love his energy while you spar. Did he come to Vegas, or did you do this separately? And he's not, obviously he's your dad, but he's not in the corner any longer.
Um, I decided to come down and do this separately, just to see if I could, just grow, and just try to get better.
For sure, for sure. All right, so I got a few more. Give me a sec here to read the next one. We got DC3 from Houston. Keep putting on for Houston. Great unanimous decision win. Let's start getting them belts at 160. You and Ammo gonna have to catch a fade soon.
No doubt. No doubt. That's what I
Have
want.
you have you guys ever sparred?
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, he stopped sparring me though. He stopped sparring. I was a welterweight when we used to spar.
Yeah, I remember you was fighting at welterweight, man. You moving up those divisions pretty quick. You think you're settling now at 160, or do you see yourself still being able to move up another one or two?
Nah, I'm selling at 160. I weighed 156 my last fight, so I'm selling. I'm still getting stronger at 160.
You know, one thing we usually don't do in boxing is we usually don't talk about sparring. What happens in the gym stays in the gym. That's usually when you're in a camp with a championship fighter and you're helping that fighter get somewhere. You don't want to, anything good or bad that happens in the camp. You just don't want that to get out because that's just not the game. But I believe that Marcus is in a position now where people still may not know who he is. People still may not respect the O Snatcher, and I think is one of the main reasons why I called why I text you up, Ness, was I said, man, let's get on the boxing voice and let's talk that shit because I know that people are going to respect what's said on the boxing voice. So when people are asking, hey, have you sparred with Ammo before? And he like, yeah, I sparred with him, but he stopped sparring with me. I'm like, yo, tell these people like, yo, you bring heat at welterweight. You was bringing heat to a middleweight, and he
Yeah,
didn't like that heat. Came to your gym and was asking to spar with other people at your gym,
other
and
people. Yeah,
you right there
I
waiting to
was
spar with
I
me.
was begging for some rounds, man. I swear to God, bro. He just
Marcus
tricked
told
me.
me Marcus
Like I'm
took
gonna
me
give you
to a
work
nice
Thursday.
gym. Marcus took me to a nice gym and told me he stopped training at the gym. I said, "Yo, why would this is a dream. I would love to train here. You got the ring right there, the bags right there, and when you done with your training, you can get on the treadmill and go sit in a sauna or a steam room. Why would you leave this?" He said, "Man, Ammo would come to the gym and he wouldn't want to spar me. He said they wouldn't make him spar with me, so I stopped coming to the gym. I told them if you let another fighter come in my gym and not spar with me, that ain't right. So I left the gym. I said, yo, I said you left all this because Amber wouldn't spar with you. You know what I mean? So that just let you know, man. It's some heat, and we not just talking. We gonna be ready. Be quiet
For
again.
sure, man. It's true. That's a true story. That's a true story. I just felt like, you couldn't go to the Bulls facility and be like, I want to play the Bulls, but Mike, you can't play. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what happened. He come to my gym and try to dictate who we spar and things like that. But when we go to his gym, we got to spar whoever, we get work
Get out.
with.
I'm working.
So when that happened, yeah, that kind of pissed me off. I ain't gonna lie, but bottom line, Buddy stopped sparring me, and he said, I heard he was saying like I wasn't like good work because it was nothing you could put no highlight film on, shit like that. So
Tell you.
so now I'm 160 and I'm middleweight now, so like we can just fight.
Go ahead.
And I'm assuming you're not having that issue in Las Vegas. There's plenty of work in Vegas, right? Has that
Yeah,
met your standards?
yeah. And that's what I like about Vegas. Like, ain't nobody saying no to no work. Really, that was the only dude that ever said no to work before.
Hmm?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was part Shakur, and he weighed 135. You know what I'm saying? So usually when you ask for work, yes, you get work. He the only boxer I know to turn down work with somebody like damn near begging him to get work. It's weird. All these new boxers weird, bro.
Now, there's a plethora of fighters in Vegas. Can we know some of the names you got to get you got to use for this camp? I mean, because in Solace, there's some big 54 pounders, 60 pounders that you probably can use, like Mendoza and Gomez and Adames and just a lot. Even Gabriel Maestre is huge to be a
Man,
welterweight.
I ain't going to silence. I want to fight all them boys. You fuck around spar with guys like that, you whoop their ass in sparring, you ain't gonna get that fight. Fuck that. It's in the contract.
That is true, but shit, Mendoza sparred everybody, and he keeps getting that fight, those fights.
That's because he got
I'm not
somebody behind him
Mendoza.
moving him and getting him in the ring with them guys. Marcus don't got that, you know. So,
Oh,
you
he
know,
got that
even
now, Shawn. He got that now.
well, I mean, okay, but here's another example. Even with Eddie Hearn in the matchroom and the ammo situation, you know, what is Eddie Hearn going to expect us to bring to the table against an Ammo Williams? You know what I mean? At the moment, you could say that Marcus doesn't have the recognition, and the risk to reward is too low. Well, are you trying to get your fighter back into a position to fight for a world championship title? He wasn't in a position to fight for a world title. He was fighting Shiraz to get there. Shiraz bumped him down a little bit. So now you got to do something to get him back into that position. I think 18-1 is a great way to get back into that position. But at the moment, the power, I think, when you're talking about an Ammo Williams taking on, and Eddie Hearn taking on Marcus Taylor, it's got to be a matter of Ammo saying, yeah, I'll fight him. Hopefully that happens, and then after that, now from the business logistics, are we gonna get stabbed in the back? You know what I mean? Are we gonna take is the offer gonna be so dang low that And I told Marcus, I said, yo, if the offer is low, we still gonna take the fight because we need the fight, you know. And
Right.
this is the step, I'd rather take low money and kick ass than take high money and not move up the rankings or not be put in a position to get more and get better on the next one.
Marquis, I got some more for you here. This one is coming from Dom B in OKC. He says, "What's good, champ? What have you learned from Shakur Stevenson in sparring that you can tell us, and how good is his defense?"
Um, um, Spawn Shakur, I learned like different things. How to measure this.
Shawn, is that me or is that him?
That's you.
Oh, it's me breaking up?
Yeah, because I froze on your end too.
All right, Marquise, you want to try now? See if everything is good. Once again, I am in the Dominican Republic, still trying to get it done. Shout out to Elon Musk, though. The satellite is holding up.
What I was saying was, Spawn Shakur, like, it's good practice with my range of distance, with my different feints, mixing things up, just trying to be unpredictable. You gotta try different things, try to make him uncomfortable. He's hard to hit. He has A1 defense.
Bet. Keeping it moving here. We got Quest. What's up, champ? This is Quest from VA. Name your favorite video game, and what would you be doing if you didn't box for a living?
My favorite video game is Call of Duty, and if I wasn't if I wasn't boxing, uh, I'd probably be a musician.
Okay. You like music? What type of musician? R&B singer or what?
Well, I was in a band, so I don't know. I probably would have took that more serious. Play instruments, so I probably would have took music more serious.
All right. We got a couple more here. Next one up is from Mr. Benny Hinn. He says, "Longtime fan since the Crow fight. I won some good bread on that Gomez fight. How many amateur bouts did you have, and why did Petra pull out of the fight?" Did he mean Peter?
Yeah. Um. What was the All right? What was the first question again?
First part was how many amateur bouts did you have?
Oh, okay. I had about 160 amateur bouts.
Damn, champ, that's more than Keith Thurman. No nationals? Like, what happened? Did you have national wins?
I had like I won like nationals 2 times. I won like
Okay,
two national championships, but
okay,
I didn't compete in the elite division, like in the men's division. I didn't compete.
okay, okay. We got a few more here. This one is from Zip Pacino. This was my first time seeing you fight. You came out pumping that jab, then decided to walk your opponent down. Why the sudden change?
Um, Cause I want to kind of like get into his chest. He was real long and rangy, so I just kind of changed the distance up, see if he could fight inside, and I saw I could fight inside way better than him, so kind of switched it up. Is he talking?
Nah, he not. I'm like, you still there, Ness?
Oh shit. Again, I'm manually muting so that we don't echo. I thought I unmuted. All right, so Shawn, someone had one question for you and one person just was showing love. So Jorge was just saying big fan and sending you a shout out and thanking you for all the great fights. Next is Donald from Baton Rouge. It says, happy that you came on the show. What did boxing teach you through all the years?
Man, um, transferable skills. Everything that I've learned in boxing, I've transferred and I use them now in my daily life and all of my business ventures that I got going. Commitment, sacrifice, discipline, determination. Of course, you know the what four losses, 3 or 4 losses you saw me have as a pro. It wasn't my first time losing. I had 250 plus amateur fights, lost plenty of times as an amateur. Not I always say like I don't condone losing, but listen, the other side of losing is if you wake up and you have another day, that means you ain't dead. That means you got to keep working. So
Hmm.
those are some a lot of the things that I got from boxing, man. I just use them now in my daily life. Days when I'm told no, or days that don't go exactly as I expected to. And listen, man, I'm always praying. I'm always looking for a dream that's gonna give me an answer to how to change it, how to fix it, how to do it better. So I really do think that if boxing was manifested, it could look some like me, because I do truly believe that, without boxing, I would not be who I am. The personality that I have, the mental fortitude that I have. I got so many qualities from boxing. I don't even want my kids to box, but I want them to train because I want them to learn some of those have those qualities that you just don't get walking around. You just don't get at school. School can't teach you the qualities that boxing can teach you. And most sports, they can give you some of them qualities, but boxing I think has everything. So that's who I am now.
All right. We got Benny Hinn that says, what is your recommended amount of running for a pro boxer? And do you think the game needs more prospect fighting prospects and contenders fighting other contenders?
Man, that's a tough question. I think that it all, both makes sense, to be honest with you. I think a prospect fighting another prospect, the way the landscape of boxing is made now, one guy goes down in the rankings, or, if he loses, the other guy continues to rise. I don't think it should be that way. I think boxing can figure it out to make it a way that, you fight another prospect, 8-0 versus 8-0, 10-0 versus 10-0, and you both continue to grow and learn and achieve the goals that you want to achieve. That's why you don't see a lot of undefeated fighters fighting another undefeated fighter because of that reward factor. And the same thing goes for the contenders. I think, again, here's a primary example. Right now, Ammo is in a contender position. We're trying to put Marcus into a contender position. Even the if when they get in the ring, if Marcus completely mop Ammo, then you say, all right, yeah, Ammo just not the guy. But if it's a really good, close, competitive fight, both those guys have shown that they can be in that position of being someone to fight for a championship title. So, it's a thin line that you trail. Um, but I think it should work. It could work, but we'll see. The other question I do know that was asking how much a should a professional fighter run when Marcus came to me, I told him, I said, we're going to be on the track twice a week, and you're going to be running long distance twice a week. I told him, I said, but you're not going to be running 5, 6, 7 miles when you run long distance. You're going to run 3 miles, four at max. You might run five. You might run 5 miles once a week, if at all. But we want to stay in that 3 to 4, maybe five range, and we'll be on the track twice a week. Reason being, people don't understand boxing, even though it's 12 rounds, it's not 12 rounds at one consistent pace. That's how you run long distance, at one consistent long pace. Sprinting on the track, that's what boxing is like. It's this really quick up and down, and the energy changes are so fast, which is why we do more track work. And there's a hint for
It's cat.
any coach or
It's
fighter out
cat.
there that's
It's cat.
listening.
It's cat. It's cat. It's not the cat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
we on the track 2 times a week. It's cat. We was on the track 10 times a week.
That wasn't true. It's not true. That's not true. It's not true.
He said you had to run them
Man,
all week.
don't get on these people podcasts and start capping, man. We 2 times a week on the track. Come on, get out of here. Trying to kill
Hey,
me, man.
Marcus, here's the funny thing. Marcus is a hard worker, but when you're being worked, it's different from you working yourself. I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
us, when we're alone doing it ourselves, we think we're working hard. I think that's something that
Really
Marcus
not.
figured out coming and doing it the Porter way. He's like, man, I thought I
Mm-hmm.
was working hard because I was doing 12 rounds a day, but I got him doing 6 to 8 rounds, and it's 6 to 8 rounds of hard work. And I told Marcus, I said, listen, man, we're gonna work smarter. We're not gonna work harder. Some days it ain't gonna be as many rounds, but the what we do, the intensity, the level that we train at is gonna be just as heavy. So we putting it together.
I'm just sitting here smiling, man, hearing you say the Porter way, man. You know, that's just amazing that you've implemented all these things you've learned from your dad. And I'm sure on that track, you're implementing some of them Coach Larry Wade, exercises as well. I do want to ask, I had the pleasure, and I want to thank you, obviously, for allowing me to be at your big fight with Broner. And I want to ask, do you bring that into camp with Marquis? And what I mean by that is, you made it a thing to always do a big prayer before your fight. I know that was a big fight, so you had your pastor and everything there. But is that still part of the Porter way?
Absolutely, 100%. We went to church on Monday. We're going to church tonight. And Marcus really loves the church. I'm still with Pastor Randall Cunningham out here at Remnant Ministries out here in Vegas. Marcus loves the church. That is, I really do truly believe our spirits were connected when I seen him walk to the ring on fight night when he fought Yoelvis Gomez. And that's a big part of it. Funny thing, on fight night, when I'm with Marcus, I'm 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 new to the team, so I'm trying to adjust and move as the team would want me to move, opposed to how I'm used to moving. And I'm sitting and I'm thinking, I was thinking to myself, I was like, uh, we gotta get that prayer in. And I didn't say it out loud, I just thought it. And immediately after, I promise y'all, immediately after I thought it, Marcus said, "Hey, let's get let's get this prayer." And it was like I was like, "Yo, I was just thinking that." So I'm telling y'all, man, me and Marcus are certainly connected spiritually, and we're gonna do some really big things moving forward.
Nah, it's amazing to see, man. It's amazing to see that you gonna, and for me, again, I'm over here all smiles, man, because for me, when you retired, I said, damn, we don't have a Porter style. Like we need a, you know, it. We needed that. So the fact that you're there. I've even talked to Floyd Schofield, senior and junior. Like they need to, and they say, oh well, we was with Ken at one point. We learned from Ken Porter. I'm like, well, maybe you got to contact Shawn. Your son keeps getting these headbutts. He got that Shawn style. He ain't mastered it yet. And Marcus, I hate to make it about Shawn, but you know, it's just the way he's helping you, he can help others. And I wanted to know, Shawn, was this a one-time thing because of the chemistry and the, connection spiritually, or do you see yourself training moving forward?
This was an easy decision. That's what, the just top to bottom. It just was an easy decision. I told him, I said, man, I haven't been to Houston, Texas since 2007. Nothing has brought me to Houston, Texas since 2007. I said I just started doing work on Red Owl, doing the commentary on the zone. Brings me down to Houston once a month, and here you are. You know what I mean? So it to me just was just a simple, easy decision. Moving forward, for anyone else, I definitely want to get back to just the advisory role that I've been in as a figure in boxing, where I just want to help. Um, if and when I see someone else that I believe I could spend time with, and the time be used wisely and things of that nature, I certainly would be willing to take that shot. Somebody like for instance, Schofield. I have seen. I'm like, yo, the kid looked just like me. My wife has watched him, and she's like, yeah, he look a lot like you. You know what I mean? I do believe that there's attributes that I could bring and show and help him to improve. They have the means to come to Vegas. They have the means to take care of themselves. I don't have to dedicate all of my time to a Floyd Schofield to help him become better. I'm not saying that I have to commit all of my time to Marcus, but Marcus wants me to be a head coach. Anybody else that wants me to be a head coach, it's just going to require so much more. This one made all the sense in the world. In the future, if and when it makes sense, I'll take the shot again.
Marcus, so obviously with this connection between you and Porter, the first thing I thought is, hopefully Shawn can get you in that Laura fight. But I haven't heard you mention Laura. Is it just because you're trying to be realistic and get there via the rankings? Because just calling them out.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I've been screaming Laura Janabek, Carlos Adams like for so long now. I don't even get acknowledgement with that. So I just be trying to I just be trying to call out a name like that I feel like that at least put me in a room, you know, to call those other guys out, and I just feel like Ammo like is just perfect. I think he like 17-1, I'm 18-1. Like I feel like it's just a perfect fight. Let's go.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I do want Carlos Adams. I do want Janet Beck. I do want Shiraz. I do want Evans, Lindy, Lara. I actually went to the WBA convention and put my bid in for that. I know I probably not gonna get it, but I did. That's all we can do is ask and try.
That's it, man. But that's the first step. You actually have to be at these conventions, man. If not, you will get passed over, and whoever is there asking for a favor will receive favor. Uh,
Yep.
but I do want to thank you guys for coming on, man. Please give out your social medias. And is there a scheduled return date? Because I know Red Owl's been keeping you busy.
We're looking at March. We're looking at March. I suffered a cut, so looking at March.
Give me a social media.
Oh yeah. My social media is marvelous underscore. Keys, Quis. It's Marvelous, Marvelous underscore Quis. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. Yeah.
Shawn, my last one before you go is obviously you said you would be okay with helping Schofield. Um, in a perfect world, would you rather it be for this camp for Shakur, or would you be willing? I mean, I'm not willing because you got to, you have to. But is it cool if it was after this fight?
My guess is it would be after this fight, or it would have to be after this fight. That boy, Shakur texted me last week and asked me to come give him some rounds when he gets here to Vegas. So I told him, I said, "Yo, give me a month to get get ready for you." He saw that I was sparring with the Vargas brother, with one of the Vargases out here, and he was like, "Man, I just
Which
want to
one,
get to see what
Fernando?
I got in the ring. Marcus got in the ring with Fernando. I got in the ring with Amato, and I was trying to get in the ring with Emiliano as well, but Emiliano wasn't
I'm
training that
tight
day.
right now. I would have loved to see that because I don't. I mean, the model is too small for you and so inexperienced. I wonder how that went. Not. I know sparring is work, and I get it. I'm not saying. I'm just saying though. He's a lot smaller, and I've seen him spar a lot of people in Vegas. So it would have been interesting
Amato,
to see
right?
that. Yes, Amato. He gets in there with everybody. He's a tough
Yeah.
kid.
I would say like yeah, of the three of them, he's probably got he's the one that's got that crazy heart that's just gonna do anything. And we all are a little crazy to do this, but Amato I think is especially crazy, more crazy than the other two. But yeah, so Shakur asked me to give him some work. I'm good with giving some work. I'm good with giving him work and helping Schofield should he want that help and should they call on me. But honestly, man, out of respect for Shakur, if I had a conversation with Shakur, he was like, "Don't work with him for this fight." Out of the fact that he called me first, I feel like he has the seniority there in terms of me having to make a decision of whether or not I would work with Schofield. But if he said, "Yeah, man, work with him, whatever," I worked with Schofield. I just want to help. You know what I mean? I want nothing from none of these guys, man. I just want to help.
Go
Nah, that.
ahead, yeah, Coach. Go ahead, get up in there, man, and give him some work like you gave me some work for my last camp.
Yeah,
Nah,
I'm
that's
probably
amazing.
at this point. I'm probably the only coach that'll get in the ring with the fighters. I did spar with Marcus.
Nah,
My
that's
thing with
what I'm
Marcus, man,
saying. That's what
I really wanted to know, like, is this what is this dude doing? And I felt like the best way I could see what he was doing was actually being in the ring and seeing it for myself. Marcus thinks he tries to set things up. He has a rhythm and the technique that will throw you off. He got Marcus has a lot in his bag.
I had to see if the old
I'm
man
sorry.
still had it. I mess with you.
I'm sorry. I thought I was unmuted. So I have to ask one more. I'm sorry. So for my co-host who's not here, he seems to believe if you didn't fight professionally, you can't teach boxing. Marcus, what's your thoughts on that? And Shawn, since you were a fighter that was trained by a non-fighter, right? Your father never fought. Do you agree with that? Because he made you a two-time champion.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. My dad also didn't fight professional, and my dad, I feel like, is like the master of defense. You know, it's everybody got their thing. They strong suit, what they good at. When you start thinking you know everything about boxing, and you can't learn no more, then that's when you need to get out the game.
My dad boxed when he was a young kid, and then he boxed again when he was when he was a young adult, when he had myself and my brothers, and we all he started training us when we were very young. Listen, here's the thing, and I'll make this quick and short, but this is what I said when I came onto this onto this show. In order to coach, number one, you have to have a spirit to teach. If you don't have a spirit to teach, you won't know how to articulate and transfer the information that you know. Not everybody has spirit to teach. Beyond that, in order for you to have a spirit to teach, you have to have a spirit to learn. A lot of coaches aren't willing to learn. A lot of dads don't know how to learn. My dad, number one, had a spirit to teach. My dad told me he was coaching little league football when he was 15, 16 years old. So my dad goes back to being a teenager coaching. Then beyond that, my dad had the understanding that he had to learn more. Went to numerous world tournaments with me, trained numerous amateur fighters, professional fighters. You have to build it up just as much as you build up that fighter. In order for you to become an elite coach, whether it's an amateur coach or professional coach, you have to have elite training and you have to have elite teaching and you have to learn it. You have to put yourself in those positions to learn and grow. That's what my dad did. We're expecting all these fighters to learn and grow. Why aren't we learning and growing? So my job with Marcus is to continue to learn as I teach him. Get out.
Well, fellas, that is definitely the last one, and I appreciate the both of you. Thank you for joining us, and look forward to the next move for each of you.
Sure, appreciate
Appreciate
you.
All right, thank you. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Porter and Marquis Taylor. We appreciate them for coming on the show. We are also